Less than a day after the mass shooting in Las Vegas, Alex Jones already has it figured out. Less than a day after it, he takes to the airwaves and he says this.
Now, here's the big news. Islamic State has taken responsibility, and the man known by the police for issues, I guess mental illness, had reportedly converted to Islam in the last 2 months. And even though that's being reported by Reuters and others, you're not seeing it on CNN or MSNBC. We've been tracking it. Maybe I missed it. But that's pretty big news, isn't it? Which is the 100-year anniversary. The 100-year anniversary of the Bolshevik Revolution, and the literal grandchildren of the folks that financed the Bolshevik Revolution out of New York and London are now bragging, saying Bolshevik 2 is launching. I told you over and over again that I believe their November 4th launch terror date was a smokescreen for them to begin launching terror attacks in October. They will get successively more intense until you basically come punch drunk to them. Then they'll launch their main attack. Here's the other big news. On Saturday night, Sunday morning, they released OJ just 20 hours before the attack took place, so all the media would come and be in place to cover this event. The whole thing has the hallmarks of being scripted by deep state Democrats and their Islamic allies using mental patient cutouts. I'm Alex Jones.
Scripted by deep state Democrats and their Islamic State allies. That's who did this. There's a 64-year-old white dude who, according to everybody, was not political, was not religious. He was basically just a bum, and he probably had severe, mental issues. Maybe he's psychotic or what have you. He does it. Alex Jones' conclusion is blame Islamic State allies and Democrats. No evidence whatsoever. Okay, by the way, I like how he brings up, the guy converted to ISIS. Because ISIS came out and took responsibility for this. That was before we knew anything about the shooter. As soon as we learned stuff about the shooter, it looks like this is an example of ISIS. Shocker! It's not beyond ISIS to lie and take responsibility for something they didn't do. So they looked for evidence, even despite the demographic differences, how this guy doesn't fit the profile of a normal ISIS person. The FBI looked into it and they're like, no, there's zero evidence he's an ISIS person. He's a 64-year-old white dude. Did nothing with his time. Not political, not religious. At least to this point, that's what the evidence shows. So the FBI's like, no, it's not true. It's a clear example of ISIS trying to use this to say, see, it's us. See, we should get credit for every bad thing that ever happens against America, because that's our whole thing is like, we hate the infidels and we hate America. So even in the article he's citing is like, oh yeah, this is clearly ISIS. They're saying, we don't know for sure, so we're just throwing it out there. And he brings up CNN and MSNBC not reporting on it as if it's like they're trying to conceal the fact. Yeah, because, if there's an ISIS attack, usually CNN and MSNBC hide the fact that it's ISIS. What the fuck are you talking about? No, they didn't report on it because it looked like the report was probably bullshit, and it was bullshit. So, the guys, everything's fake news, except the initial report, which is obviously fake news, in which case, no, I think that's real because it fits my narrative. That's Alex Jones. And then I love there's an inherent contradiction in what he's arguing, which is just peak Alex Jones. He makes a smooth transition from, this is ISIS, and, ISIS is doing this terror attack and with Democratic allies. And then he goes, it's an ISIS attack to its Bolshevik Revolution number 2. I thought you just said it was ISIS. It's ISIS. By that I mean the Bolsheviks are doing the... What the fuck? That's not a thing. There's no allegiance between Bolsheviks and ISIS. What does that even mean? Two radically different kinds of goals. One is to set up the caliphate and, implement Sharia everywhere, strict interpretation of Sharia law. And the other one is the Bolshevik Revolution. They're Bolsheviks. So what the fuck are you talking about? He's just a baby. He's just a man-child weaving the narrative that he prefers, and Again, this is less than 24 hours after it happened. People who are investigating it don't even have all the facts. But somehow Alex Jones gets out there, he's got it figured out. Every single time something happens, you know, and notice, it used to be the case that there's always a conspiracy, but you always blame the conspiracy on the fucking president. But ooh, that's only when it's a black Democrat. As soon as it's Donald Trump, who, you know, Alex Jones has the biggest man crush in human history on Donald Trump. He never criticized the guy for fucking anything. Well, now all of a sudden, now the conspiracies can't be coming from the president. No, now they have to be coming from deep state Democrats. Weird how it works. Whenever it's an administration you don't like, the conspiracy goes all the way up to the top, to the administration. Whenever it's an administration you do like, somehow the administration is not in on the conspiracy this time. Sometimes this conspiracy doesn't go to the top. It stops short of it. So it's always, I mean, this guy is as transparent a loser and an ideologue as humanly possible. You know? This is fake news. Alex Jones is the fake news. He's clearly pulling these conspiracies out of his ass. I mean, another example, he spoke about how Sandy Hook was a hoax. And you know what his argument was, right? Not me speaking, him speaking. Oh, the Obama administration is doing this as a pretext to come and take all the guns from law-abiding citizens. That's the argument he made. Well, what happened, Alex? You said that's what was going to happen. But they didn't do that. Did they come and take the guns? They didn't come and take the guns. They didn't even get a fucking background check bill passed. Never mind banning guns, which is unconstitutional, which they didn't even try to do. The furthest they went was just a ban on assault weapons, which is a small percentage of all the weapons, and a push for high-capacity magazine bans. They weren't even trying to ban all guns. But you said they were going to try to ban all guns and confiscate all the guns. Not only did they not do that, they didn't push for that, and they didn't even get a watered-down background check bill through. So you know what that means, right? The thing that you said was the motive of the administration wasn't the motive because they didn't get it and they didn't fucking try for it. But you said that was, oh, it's a hoax, and how do I know it's a hoax? Well, look at all these things that don't add up. Oh, and their motive is to come and take the guns away. Well, if they didn't take the guns away, your whole theory collapses. They even try to take guns away. Your theory collapses. That's like, oh, we have this crime, but there's no motive. Well, any jury would go, okay, so I'm not convinced here because there's no motive for this person to do X, Y, or Z. So why the fuck would they do X, Y, or Z? You need motive. You have to establish motive. So every mass shooting, oh my God, it's a conspiracy and the government's doing it and it's the president and, oh shit, the guy I like got elected? Yeah, there's a conspiracy too. It's the government doing, but it's the deep state Democrats. No, it's not the administration. It's not the guy who I'm a servile bitch boy to. Ugh. For the love of God, don't take this guy seriously, man. Just please don't take this guy seriously. There are some people who listen to me and Alex Jones. I don't know how you do that. I genuinely don't know how you do that. So every now and then, he happens to accidentally say something that makes sense. Like, hey, maybe the NSA shouldn't spy on everybody. Wow. What a genius. He figured that one out. Mass surveillance is bad. Ooh, look at you. What a brilliant man you are. That doesn't mean the other 9,376 things he says that are fucking stupid are smart. So just don't take him seriously. He's a clown of all clowns. He's already acting like he has the answers. He doesn't have the answers. He's just a fucking carnival barker who knows how to sound convincing enough to dupe people over.